All right, it is 7 o'clock, so we are going to go ahead and get started. First, I just want to introduce myself. I'm Michael. You'll see Terry, he's also hosting, and Jeremy Zonker is too. And you can scroll through the windows and see them. But we are so glad that everyone is here. We value your time. We're going to try to keep it between 15 and 20 minutes. But we want you to know that at the end of everything that we have, we're going to stay on as long as you would like, to answer any questions or just to talk about church apps or talk about the church. We could do this all day, or all night in this case. So we'd love to do that. Church apps started over 10 years ago. It was a couple, three guys that had an idea that might be able to make a difference in the kingdom, and all the way to right now to where it is. It's a dream that emerged, and then it came to reality. The impact that we're making on the kingdom is really a testament to God's work and the collaboration of his people. We wanted to go over just some things that we really want to let you know about, how exciting things are going for Church Apps in 2023. I see a lot, and those that are close to Church Apps, they see everything that's going on, and it is exciting. It's exciting to say that there's not a day that goes by that we don't have a new church come on. In fact, probably 4 or 5 churches coming on. It is a constant flow into our email that shows new churches coming on and starting to use one of our programs. And so seeing the churches using the apps is just incredible. It really, it's fun to see, and it's fun to see people saving and churches saving money and putting that money back into ministry. Not all the time everybody gets to see that. So I want you guys to know that is amazing, and we're going to show you just how effective it really is in this meeting. From here, I'm going to hand it over to our outreach director, who is Terry Bird. And so, Dad, I'll let you take it from here.
Thanks, Michael. Thank you all for being here this evening.
Come on, Christmas cheer time. Hello.
Hold on, I'm going to mute some people. There we go. Thank you all for being here this evening, and I hope that it's an opportunity for you to learn a little bit more about what's going on in at Church Apps. Our goal is to be service to the church and to offer open source ministry tools, curriculum, church management software, presentation software, mobile apps, web design, and streaming. You may not know this, but the ministry tools that we offer make up almost $1 billion industry in the United States. That's $1 billion that the church is spending on technology instead of on ministry, discipleship, and what the church needs to be doing. So Church Apps had a great year last year, 2023. We had over 2,300 downloads of our children's curriculum, and more than 1,000 churches registered for our ministry tools last year. Our philosophy comes from Acts 2:44, where it says the early church was a sharing community. Open source technology is one area that I think the church can definitely share. So why is every individual church out there paying for this technology when if we used open source programs and shared programming responsibilities and cost, then everyone could use the programs for free? An investment in Church Apps is really an investment in the kingdom. We are all focused on trying to do what the Lord would have us do to build his kingdom. Last year, we estimate that Church Apps saved the church as a whole about $130,000 just by the use of the open source apps that we have provided. That's $130,000 that can go into discipleship and missions and ministry. So hopefully you'll have, like I said, learn a lot of good things tonight. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them at the end. But let's begin with the word of prayer. Father, we thank you for this evening. We thank you for the chance to come together and to discuss what you are doing through this ministry. Lord, I pray that you will help us to, in everything we say and everything we do, to glorify and honor you. We thank you and love you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you. Tonight, we are excited to introduce to you Paul Hugabart. Paul serves as the lead minister for Southside Christian Church in Fort Pierce, Florida. He is a great communicator and a sought-after speaker. I would say Paul is an expert in the revitalization effort in America, finding churches that are well-established but not growing and guiding them into spiritual growth to be able to save the most people in the shortest amount of time. I had the privilege to spend a month with Paul, and seeing his heart for the church is just obvious. I value his friendship, and Southside Christian Church is actually the first church to integrate every one of our apps and take advantage of every service we offer, including our newest app, which is Free Show. And so, Paul, thanks for being here with us, and I'm going to turn it over to you now.
Yeah, glad to be here. Thanks for guys for coming and spending some time here this evening. I'm going to give you just a quick snapshot of who I am beyond what Michael said real quickly. And to do that, just want to give you a quick snapshot of who I was in one sense because of who I was connected with even just 6 months ago. So we moved here from just north of Atlanta 5 months ago. I was connected with a large church just north of Atlanta. A church that we had grown from 300 to more than 800 in membership. And so you can imagine during that time, as we are finding the different things that fit and work for us, especially things that are in the tech world. And a lot of that is software based and server based and all that stuff. And if I try to use any more tech words, you'll find out that I really don't know that much about tech. So software and servers as far as I'm but here's what I can tell you. I can tell you about all the different groups that we were paying, and sometimes quite significantly during that time. So when I left, we were using a group called Touchpoint for our database management software. We were using ProPresenter to present our stuff on Sunday. We were using PushPay to take in our offerings that came online or through our app. We were using Subsplash for the app and the web and for hosting our services on Sunday morning. We were paying Planning Center for a number of different things. And so you may wonder, why are we paying all these different guys when some of those services overlap? And it's because all those guys have something that they were best at. And so we were paying them for the thing that they were best at. And so by the time we were done, Terry said they saved that you guys saved the church $130,000. I kind of feel like you could probably have saved one church $130,000 in 1 year. Now that may be over exaggerating just a little bit, but I think you get the point. And then beyond that, we were paying a pretty good fee for curriculum to Orange. And so all of these things, these 6 things that I just talked to you about, Touchpoint, ProPresenter, PushPay, Planning Center, Subsplash, and Orange, it's amazing to me to find one group that says, hey, we're doing all of that. And then beyond that, not just we're doing all of that, we've got a heart for helping churches, especially churches who could never afford to do, frankly, just about any of that. So I left, again, a large church that we had grown to where we had the resources and frankly, we could pay for all of this. And I came to a small church to actually lead a revitalization effort after coaching some revitalizers for the last several years, where frankly, truly, we could not have done any of this if it were not for ChurchApps. So when Michael came and spent some time with us, I was wrestling with, how do I know who is a part of this church and how do we keep digital records of that? We had no database. When I tried to price some databases before we had conversations, I realized we can't afford any of those. We're just cutting it at a base level. So no Touchpoint, no ProPresenter for us. We're running PowerPoint as best as we can, which means we're very limited in our presentation. There was no question about whether or not we could take on online contributions. We knew we couldn't do it. We didn't even know how to set it up. The things that we were doing with Planning Center, we couldn't do that. Web hosting, we had a website from the Stone Age that Fred Flintstone would have been proud of, but in the 21st century, that was a difficulty. And then as we were trying to figure out how do we get a kids ministry going, one of the biggest things we were wrestling with is, can we afford to pay for curriculum, or do we just need to try to be as creative as we can for as long as we can? And all of those questions we found answers to when we had a visit with Michael and Carrie for a little more than a month when they came and spent some time down with us here in Florida. And so I can testify about all of the things. And I'll tell you, I know for some folks, because I'll just confess for me, there was a little nervousness because I hadn't spent much time working with open source software. And I've gotten to the point where I love the fact that we're working with open source guys because we have conversations directly with the coders. I have conversations with Michael. I put messages on groups and I get replies pretty quickly. And some of the things that I've hoped most a particular piece of software could do that even some of the softwares we were paying thousands of dollars for couldn't do, I am now finding that these guys, these coders can figure this out and make it happen for us. So I'm going back to churches that I've been with who have lots of resources and saying, hey, I think I've got something better for you and it's going to blow your mind. It's free. Church coming together. So that's where I'm going to leave it at. Michael, I tried to make that 4 minutes. I think it was 5. So
that was awesome. Thank you so much, Paul. We appreciate that. Hey, listen, basically this next part was going over all those services that he just talked about. And they're all priced out. And let's say there's Subsplash. He was talking about Subsplash, and there's Orange Curriculum, and the prices that, I mean, you could look at anywhere from $557 a year to $2,859 a year. That's bigger churches you are, the more you have to pay, which is true in a lot of these softwares. But if we go all the way down through here and we can find, the monthly fees to all these, and this would be baseline. This would be, hey, we're going to go with Orange and we're not going to have any of their videos. It's just going to be written out. And this is a lot of times, if you're a new guy looking at and helping a new church, this is what you would go with. This is where you would land, about $4,000 a year. And really, these tools that you would have would be like the base of the tools. Not really that great, kind of like Hulu, but you still have the commercials. It's a bummer. So we figured this out and basically made all the free software that he was talking about right there. So church management software is Chums. Our B1 app is now kind of stands up like Subsplash. You can host all your website on it. You can have your own app and put all your sermons on there. Lessons.church really is our biggest asset, I would say, at this point. And it is really better and better than Orange, which some churches are paying almost $3,000 a year to have a curriculum that I don't think stands up to what the Ark Church and is helping us provide, which is incredible. And so we are so blessed to just be a part of a community that we keep finding more and more. Let's go back to Lessons.church, the Ark Church. We went to them a couple of years ago and said, look, we've made this great software and we're able to get curriculum out to churches in a really effective, awesome way that pretty much nobody else is doing it. Problem is, we don't have any curriculum. They had curriculum that they've been developing for years. And they said, we're absolutely all in. If you're telling us that you're going to give it away to churches, we're 100% in, and we want to make it even better. And that's exactly what's happened over the last 2 years, which is incredible. And then Free Show, we over this last 2023, Jeremy, who's our lead developer, he found a program that was very comparable to ProPresenter. And he decided to reach out. We started talking about it, and we found out that it was 100% free, and that I'm going to mute some people real quick. I don't see Dad. I'm going to make you the host again, so you can take care of that. Okay. And so we basically reached out. Let's figure out who made this. Turns out it was a 23-year-old in Norway. We got on a Zoom meeting with him. We started talking to him. What are you doing right now? Well, he created Free Show. He's an electrician. He decided that he wanted to spend more time getting closer to God. And so he's at Bible college. So we asked him, you're in Bible college. What is your plan? What is your he said, if I could do anything, what I'd want to do is code free apps for churches all my life and just give it to churches 100% free. And so that they can use it. And we said, welcome to the team. We are so excited to have Christoph on, and starting in June of 2024, he will be a full-time coder for ChurchApps. I wanted to share a quick video with you from him. You might have to turn your computers up just a little bit. He has a bit of an accent, and so bear with it for just a second. And here we go.
Hi, my name is Christopher, and I'm a self-taught developer from Norway, and I have created the presentation software FreeShow. It started as a hobby project a few years ago and has now grown into a very good alternative to other presentation softwares like Easy Worship and ProPresenter. And I've used both of them in the past, but I figured they lacked some potential features and was too expensive. And that's the reason I wanted to make my own alternative, as I didn't like how much churches had to pay to get a good presentation experience. And now I'm a part of ChurchApps, and I'm happy to help them provide good and free solutions for the church.
Right. So that was Christopher. I can't ever say his name right. So ChurchApps, again, comparing it to all those others, it is 100% free for churches, makes it an easy decision. So our goals, as we move forward into 2024 and beyond, we really want to see if we could get 1% of all churches on our platforms, saving the church a total of $8 million a year. So we want to try to save the church $8 million a year. We think this is a very attainable goal. And our strategy to achieve this is just to double our numbers every year. So right now we have 100 churches, easy. And by next year, we should have 200 churches, and then 400, going all the way up to 3,200 churches. That is a huge goal that we feel like in the 380,000 churches in America that we will be able to get, and hopefully even further and beyond that. Our biggest problem right now, and the biggest reason that most people are not using our programs, is because they don't know who we are. Over the next couple of years, we want to make a huge impact at children's ministry conferences. Currently, we have a great response at these conferences, but we're the little guys. We are way back in the corner. When you walk in, you're going to see Orange, you're going to see Grow, you're going to see all these big companies that have big money because they're charging a lot of money to get that position. And so we have been going for 2 years. We built the relationships there. We're ready to show and go, head to head with these companies. We think it's going to be a really easy sell. In fact, this last conference we were at, there was 3,000 children's ministers there. And we had 250 make their way all the way to the back 40 where our booth is. And all 250 of them signed up right there, which is incredible because it is an easy sell. So we would like to have the funding to be able to be at the same level as an Orange or others at these conferences. And so the next couple of years, we want to do that. The next big thing that we're talking about doing, and kind of a barrier for people coming onto our platforms, is the ability to talk with each other. And so our head developer and board member, Jeremy Zonker, is going to talk about the next big thing in B1 Church.
Sure. Thanks, Michael. So basically, we're wanting to address a few of the communication issues that churches have. One is just keeping people connected throughout the week instead of just on Sunday only. Another is church-wide announcements. So usually you put those up on screen or do a church bulletin, but we really need to provide a digital equivalent of that too. For some churches, they may choose not to print church bulletins, and that's saving cost. But even if you do still print them, it's nice to have that information on you on your phone at all times. And then the third and the biggest one is really there's different groups within each church that need to be able to communicate to each other. So an example would be like a Sunday school class or a small group. or the men's ministry, or you name it, really need ways to communicate back and forth. And what we used for like the small group I hosted, for example, was Facebook groups, which worked relatively well, but there's always somebody who doesn't use Facebook. So you end up going to text messages instead, and that has its own set of problems of people get a little too chatty on there sometimes, and it blows up your phone, or you don't have names associated to numbers, all those issues. And really, you just don't have the history, you don't have event calendars and all the rich features you want. So what we're working on is building a group system within the B1 app, both the mobile app and the website, where you can opt into the groups that are relevant to you. So you'd opt into, say, church-wide announcements, your small group, your Sunday school class, the men's ministry, like I mentioned. Maybe you're a high school parent, you want to get those notifications. Maybe you're on the tech team, things like that. Whatever applies to you, you opt into those. And on each of those, you have a little community page where you can send messages back and forth for any conversations or schedule events or prayer requests or whatever you may need. And from there, you can opt into what kind of notifications you want to receive for each. So for the church-wide announcements, I don't really want to receive a notification for that. I just want to be able to pull up the app and see what they are. But for my small group, I want instant notifications whenever something happens there. Or if the high school leader send a message about a trip that my child's on, I want that instantly. So you have the option to get push notifications to your phone or email notifications, or just have it on the app on your phone. Or if you don't have a smartphone and you're not, you can just go onto the normal website and see it that way. So it's trying to meet the needs that everybody has and have different levels of notifications. So that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Thank you, Jeremy. Our model is simple: to financially fund all that we do. When churches start using what we have, they find value in it, and they find out that, man, this actually is as good as they said it was. The church then hopefully starts to give to us. We're seeing about a year it takes before churches that come online, then we reach out to them and say, hey, we know that you're using the apps and we love that. That's what they're there for. But would you be interested in paying it forward? Pay it forward to another church so that they can come on board. And at this point, a lot of the money that we're using is marketing to be able to get out to people so that they're able to use the app until we become a real household name and be able to expand beyond there. And so I want to take this moment to say everyone in this room has a common goal, and that is to see more people come to Christ. And everyone in this room has had a part in either praying for, giving to, or using church apps and beyond. And thank you so much. It is incredible. All of this could not be done by the individuals on the board or anybody that you're seeing on here. We really feel like God is in control of all of this. And we just try to facilitate what he wants us to do. With that, there's 4 ways that you can help, where your investment really can matter. And the first one is pray. Keep us in your mind. Just pray for more churches to be able to know who we are, so that they'll start using our apps, and so that they'll be able to become part of our community. And then share. If you're a church and you use our services, please link our church apps logo to your website. Just put it on there as a ministry that you're using, that you're partnering with. That would help us a lot to get more traffic driven to our sites. And after this meeting, I will be sending out an email, and in that there's a media pack. There's a small video in there that you could use if you want to show it for your church. But there's also our logo and our logo pack in there. So you can use that logo to make a link to go back to our website. Your talents. So ChurchApps is primarily ran by volunteers. Most everything that we've done has been by volunteers. And so if you are great at marketing, and we have some people that are on here that are our marketing team. And so thank you for doing that. But if that's where you fit in, man, we want you to be able to help us. If you're great at coding, please jump on board, or any talent that you have that you feel like, man, I could be of use in ChurchApps. So then we have a Slack channel and some other ways in that email you'll be able to get hold of us. And then financially, We really feel like if you invest your money into Church Apps, then we can make that investment work in the kingdom. And so you're not going to have to worry about taxes coming back for that money because you had so much capital gains. Don't worry about that. But it's going to be in the kingdom. And we're excited just at the possibilities of things that are going. And we feel like, the investment that even people that have given to this point has been, we can't even count it, but over 200%. But the more that we build this, the more churches are able to come on. And so it's a 1,000-time multiple. So it's the way that we're building all the programs. We're building it so the world can use them, not just America. And we're currently talking to people and we're seeing it spread out through the globe. So it's pretty exciting. We're really trying to get before the end of the year $100,000, and this will help us with some of the goals that we have moving forward. So if you're able to give, please. We'll, again, in the email, there'll be a link there. We'll send that out. So again, thank you so much for your time. We are now going to open it up for a discussion. Any questions or comments that you might have. There is a couple people I wanted to point out here. Dwayne Reiner, are you still on?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Hey, Dwayne, how's it going, man?
Good. How are you?
So I wanted to introduce Dwayne. He is the brains behind the art curriculum. And he has just done an incredible job. And so I've seen a couple of people that are on here that are using that in their churches. Dwayne, thank you so much for putting that all together. Anything you want to add?
No, we're just excited to be part of it and excited that churches are using it. So we just encourage you guys to use it if you're not, and if your church is using it, to reach out to us if they have any questions, because we love to help out. And since we teach it every week in our church, we can probably help solve a lot of problems, so it'll make it a little bit easier for them.
Great. Very cool.
Michael, one question that I get quite often is, how is ChurchApps structured as far as a board or so to answer that, we have a board of directors. Michael, Jeremy, and Carolyn Davis serve on the board right now. And then I work as the outreach director. And the board is self-perpetuating. In other words, whenever we feel the need to add another person to the board, we would reach out to them and see if they were interested. So
one thing a lot of people ask is, who's using this? And a lot of times, I mean, you don't know, but can we have those that are using it in their church just give a quick shout out of who you are and what church you're with?
Yeah, I'm Seth Bird. I'm with Lake City Christian Church, and we use a whole lot of the apps. Specifically, the curriculum we started this year, and I've got two sets of twins, and my 4-year-old boys are even coming home telling me the main point, which is, well, one of them is, the other one's not as interested yet. But so he comes in without even us prompting him. He tells us randomly at times the big point and stuff like that. So that's been really cool just to see it starting to take root in really young lives. So that's one area that we've been utilizing.
Well, tell him Conductor Carl says hello.
Okay.
My name is Jeremy Peterson. I'm one of the pastors at One Church, and we've been using the kids curriculum for over a year, and we had over 400 kids that experienced it this last weekend alone. So it's pretty exciting to see that.
that's cool.
Michael, I just wanted to say too, for those of you that are using the curriculum, I was going through the list, and within the next year, we'll probably have all 36 curriculum series finished. And so we're actually on pace to produce more than 36. So over the next couple of years, we're going to continue to upload more. So we have a steady stream ready. We have about 20 months of curriculum on there right now. And so within the next year, we should easily be about 2.5 years worth on there. So, and we'll have more to go. So we're on track for at least 39 or 40 months right now, maybe more.
That's incredible. Awesome. All right, we're going to close this down with just a short video. Again, this video is the same video that if you wanted to, you could download with that media packet that's coming to your email. Feel free to show that at your church. If you wanted to set up just to show them, hey, this is the why of why we're using ChurchApps. And a lot of times the why is a big part of a lot of churches, what we do. The how is big too. We love showing people how to do it, but why? Because there's a huge community out there that loves the church, and they want to be able to provide these resources to the church so that we can act more like the Acts church, and be able to have this go on long after we are dead and gone. All right, here we go. ChurchApps video.
We believe there's a significant problem in the church today. To operate effectively and have the biggest impact for the kingdom, several tools are needed, such as good church management software, high-quality children's curriculum, online streaming solutions, mobile apps, and websites. The problem is each of these tools comes with a cost, a significant one in most cases. In fact, the church as a whole spends over $800 million per year on these solutions. That's because these tools are typically offered by for-profit companies who wish to charge as much as churches are willing to pay rather than as little as necessary. Churches are faced with the dilemma of making sacrifices in other areas to pay for these tools or doing without and operating less effectively. At ChurchApps, our mission is to help churches to be more effective by providing them with these tools free of charge. These tools include Lessons.Church, Chums, Free Show, and the B1 Church app. We hope you will join us on our mission to help churches break free from their dependence on these for-profit providers.
All right, thank you guys for being here, and ladies, and we hope if we can serve you or your church in any way, please reach out. We're always open for questions. You just don't have to ask questions in this annual meeting. We're going to try to make it an annual. So if you get that invite next year, please come to it. See y'all later.